Maintaining a safe working environment on any job site is crucial, especially when dealing with electrical systems and equipment. Preventing major incidents such as explosions, fires, and electrocutions requires a comprehensive approach that prioritizes safety protocols, adherence to industry standards, and the implementation of best practices. A commitment to safety begins with thorough planning and preparation before any work commences. This includes conducting a detailed risk assessment to identify potential hazards and implementing appropriate control measures to mitigate those risks. For example, when working with electrical systems, it is essential to energize circuits and equipment before starting any work and to verify the absence of voltage using appropriate testing instruments. This simple step can prevent accidental electrocutions and other electrical incidents. Secondly, proper training and education are essential for all personnel working on a job site. Workers should be trained on the specific hazards associated with their tasks and on the safe work practices that must be followed to minimize those risks. This includes training on the proper use of personal protective equipment, such as safety glasses, gloves, and hard hats, as well as training on the safe operation of tools and equipment. Thirdly, regular inspections and maintenance of equipment are crucial for preventing equipment failures that could lead to incidents. This includes inspecting electrical cords and cables for damage, ensuring that all equipment is properly grounded, and maintaining equipment according to the manufacturer's recommendations. A well-maintained job site is a safer job site. Fourthly, effective communication is essential for coordinating activities and ensuring that everyone is aware of potential hazards. This includes holding regular safety meetings to discuss safety concerns, posting warning signs in hazardous areas, and using clear and concise language when communicating instructions. When everyone is on the same page, the risk of incidents is greatly reduced. Fifthly, adherence to industry standards and best practices is paramount for maintaining a safe working environment. These standards and practices are developed by experts in the field and are designed to minimize the risk of incidents. For example, the National Electrical Code, or NEC, provides comprehensive guidelines for the safe installation and maintenance of electrical systems. Compliance with the NEC is essential for preventing electrical fires and electrocutions. Sixthly, a strong safety culture is essential for promoting a safe working environment. This includes creating a culture where workers feel empowered to speak up about safety concerns without fear of reprisal, and where management actively supports safety initiatives. A strong safety culture fosters a sense of shared responsibility for safety and encourages everyone to work together to prevent incidents. Seventhly, emergency preparedness is essential for responding effectively to incidents if they do occur. This includes developing emergency response plans, training personnel on emergency procedures, and having appropriate emergency equipment available on site, such as fire extinguishers and first aid kits. Being prepared for emergencies can minimize the impact of incidents and prevent them from escalating. In the context of electrical safety, several specific practices are particularly important. 1. Lockout/tagout procedures are essential for preventing accidental energization of equipment during maintenance or repair. These procedures involve energizing equipment, locking out the power source, and tagging the equipment to indicate that it is out of service. 2. Ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, are essential for protecting workers from electric shock. These devices detect ground faults and quickly de-energize the circuit, preventing electrocution. GFCIs should be used in all wet or damp locations, as well as in construction sites. 3. Arc flash protection is essential for protecting workers from the hazards of arc flash. Arc flash is a dangerous electrical explosion that can cause severe burns and other injuries. Arc flash protection includes wearing appropriate personal protective equipment, such as arc-rated clothing and face shields, and following safe work practices to minimize the risk of arc flash. 4. Proper grounding is essential for preventing electrical shock and equipment damage. Grounding provides a path for fault current to flow back to the source, tripping the circuit breaker and energizing the circuit. All electrical equipment should be properly grounded according to the NEC. 5. Regular electrical inspections are essential for identifying potential hazards and ensuring that electrical systems are in good working order. Inspections should be conducted by qualified electricians and should include a thorough examination of all electrical equipment and wiring. 6. Proper use of extension cords and power strips is essential for preventing electrical fires and shocks. Extension cords should be used only temporarily and should be properly sized for the load. Power strips should be used only for light-duty applications and should not be overloaded. 7. Awareness of overhead power lines is essential for preventing electrocutions. Workers should be aware of the location of overhead power lines and should maintain a safe distance from them. Contact with overhead power lines can be fatal. In addition to these specific practices, it is also important to follow general safety guidelines, such as keeping work areas clean and organized, using tools and equipment properly, and reporting any safety concerns to a supervisor. A clean and organized work environment reduces the risk of trips, falls, and other accidents. Proper use of tools and equipment ensures that they are used safely and effectively. Reporting safety concerns allows potential hazards to be addressed before they can cause incidents. Ultimately, maintaining a safe working environment is a shared responsibility that requires the commitment of everyone on the job site. By prioritizing safety protocols, adhering to industry standards, and implementing best practices, it is possible to prevent major incidents and protect the health and safety of all workers. In electrical work, this involves several layers of safety protocols. Firstly, you have administrative controls. These include things like safety policies, training programs, and job hazard analyses. These controls aim to reduce risk by influencing worker behavior and management practices. Secondly, engineering controls are put into place. These are physical changes to the workplace that eliminate or reduce hazards. Examples include installing ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, to protect against electrical shock, or using machine guarding to prevent contact with moving parts. Thirdly, you have personal protective equipment, or PPE. This is equipment worn by workers to protect them from hazards. Examples include safety glasses, gloves, hard hats, and arc-rated clothing. PPE is the last line of defense and should be used in conjunction with other controls. Furthermore, electrical safety focuses on de-energizing before servicing equipment. De-energizing electrical equipment before working on it is a fundamental safety practice. This involves turning off the power at the source and verifying that the equipment is de-energized using a voltage tester. This prevents accidental contact with live electrical parts. Also, there is the use of lockout/tagout procedures. Lockout/tagout procedures are used to prevent the accidental energization of equipment during servicing or maintenance. These procedures involve placing a lock and tag on the power source to indicate that the equipment is out of service. Only the person who placed the lock and tag should remove it. Furthermore, safe work practices are involved. Safe work practices are specific procedures that workers must follow to minimize their exposure to hazards. Examples include using insulated tools when working with electricity, maintaining a safe distance from overhead power lines, and avoiding working in wet conditions. Training and qualification are also of utmost importance. Workers who perform electrical work must be properly trained and qualified. This includes completing an apprenticeship program and passing a certification exam. Only qualified workers should perform electrical work. Also, regular inspections and maintenance are key. Electrical equipment should be regularly inspected and maintained to ensure that it is in safe working condition. This includes checking for damaged cords, loose connections, and other hazards. Any damaged equipment should be repaired or replaced immediately. Moreover, there is emergency response planning. Every workplace should have an emergency response plan in place to deal with electrical incidents. This plan should include procedures for shutting off power, providing first aid, and evacuating the area. All workers should be familiar with the emergency response plan. Electrical safety is not just a set of rules and regulations, it is a culture. A strong safety culture is one in which everyone is committed to safety and takes responsibility for their own safety and the safety of others. This requires leadership from management, participation from workers, and a continuous improvement process. To dive deeper into the administrative aspects of electrical safety, consider the development and implementation of comprehensive safety programs. These programs should outline specific procedures for hazard identification, risk assessment, and control measures. Training programs should be tailored to the specific tasks and hazards present in the workplace. This ensures that workers have the knowledge and skills necessary to perform their jobs safely. Regular audits of safety programs can help identify areas for improvement. This ensures that the programs remain effective and up to date. Considering the implementation of engineering controls, it is important to select the appropriate controls for the hazards present. For example, ground fault circuit interrupters, or GFCIs, should be used in all wet or damp locations to protect against electrical shock. Machine guarding should be used to prevent contact with moving parts of machinery. Proper ventilation should be provided to remove hazardous fumes or dust. Regular maintenance of engineering controls is essential to ensure that they remain effective. Filters should be cleaned or replaced, and moving parts should be lubricated. Focusing on personal protective equipment, or PPE, it is important to select the appropriate PPE for the job. For example, arc-rated clothing should be worn when working on energized electrical equipment. Safety glasses should be worn to protect the eyes from flying debris. Gloves should be worn to protect the hands from cuts, burns, and electrical shock. PPE should be properly fitted and maintained. Damaged PPE should be replaced immediately. When discussing the energizing equipment, it is important to follow a specific procedure. Firstly, identify the circuit or equipment to be energized. Secondly, notify all affected personnel that the circuit or equipment will be de-energized. Thirdly, turn off the power at the source. Fourthly, lock out and tag out the power source. Fifthly, verify that the circuit or equipment is de-energized using a voltage tester. Lockout/tagout procedures involve several steps. Firstly, identify all sources of energy that could potentially energize the equipment. Secondly, disconnect or isolate all energy sources. Thirdly, lock out all energy sources using locks and tags. Fourthly, verify that the equipment is de-energized. Fifthly, release any stored energy. Safe work practices are essential for minimizing the risk of accidents. Firstly, always use insulated tools when working with electricity. Secondly, maintain a safe distance from overhead power lines. Thirdly, avoid working in wet conditions. Fourthly, never bypass safety devices. Fifthly, report any unsafe conditions to a supervisor. Providing training and qualification for electrical workers is essential. Firstly, complete an apprenticeship program. Secondly, pass a certification exam. Thirdly, participate in continuing education courses. Fourthly, stay up to date on the latest safety standards. Regular inspections and maintenance are key. Firstly, inspect electrical equipment regularly. Secondly, check for damaged cords, loose connections, and other hazards. Thirdly, repair or replace any damaged equipment immediately. Fourthly, perform preventative maintenance on a regular basis. Emergency response planning is essential for dealing with electrical incidents. Firstly, develop an emergency response plan. Secondly, train workers on emergency procedures. Thirdly, post emergency contact information. Fourthly, conduct regular drills. Building a strong safety culture requires commitment from everyone. Firstly, leadership from management. Secondly, participation from workers. Thirdly, continuous improvement process. Fourthly, open communication. Fifthly, accountability. Adhering to standards like NFPA 70E can significantly improve electrical safety. NFPA 70E provides guidance on safe work practices for electrical workers. This standard covers a wide range of topics, including hazard identification, risk assessment, and control measures. Compliance with NFPA 70E can help prevent electrical injuries and fatalities. The hierarchy of controls is a system for prioritizing hazard control measures. The most effective controls are those that eliminate or reduce hazards at the source. The least effective controls are those that rely on personal protective equipment. The hierarchy of controls is as follows: firstly, elimination. Secondly, substitution. Thirdly, engineering controls. Fourthly, administrative controls. Fifthly, personal protective equipment. Implementing a comprehensive electrical safety program requires a significant investment of time and resources. However, the benefits of such a program far outweigh the costs. A comprehensive program can reduce the risk of electrical injuries and fatalities, improve worker morale, and reduce workers' compensation costs. Electrical safety is not just a matter of compliance, it is a matter of ethics. Employers have a moral obligation to provide a safe working environment for their employees. Employees also have a moral obligation to work safely and to protect their own safety and the safety of others. In addition to the points mentioned above, there are several other important considerations for electrical safety. 1. Electrical safety should be integrated into all aspects of the workplace. 2. Electrical safety should be a continuous process. 3. Electrical safety should be based on a risk assessment. 4. Electrical safety should be based on a hierarchy of controls. 5. Electrical safety should be based on training and qualification. 6. Electrical safety should be based on inspections and maintenance. 7. Electrical safety should be based on emergency response planning. 8. Electrical safety should be based on a strong safety culture. By following these guidelines, it is possible to create a safe working environment for all. The most important thing is to be proactive and to take steps to prevent accidents before they happen. When working with electricity, always err on the side of caution. If you are not sure how to do something safely, ask for help. There is no shame in admitting that you do not know something. It is better to ask for help than to risk getting hurt. Electrical safety is a serious matter. By taking the time to learn about electrical hazards and how to prevent them, you can help to protect yourself and others from injury or death. Remember, safety is everyone's responsibility. When working with electricity, always be aware of your surroundings. Pay attention to what you are doing and do not get distracted. If you see something that does not look right, report it to a supervisor. By working together, we can create a safe working environment for all. Remember to regularly review and update safety procedures to reflect changes in technology, regulations, and workplace conditions. This ensures that the procedures remain effective and relevant. Encourage open communication and feedback from workers regarding safety concerns. This helps identify potential hazards and improve safety practices. Investigating incidents and near misses can help identify root causes and prevent similar incidents from occurring in the future. This includes analyzing the sequence of events leading up to the incident, identifying contributing factors, and implementing corrective actions. Celebrate successes and recognize individuals or teams that demonstrate a commitment to safety. This helps reinforce positive safety behaviors and promotes a strong safety culture. Leading by example is one of the most effective ways to promote safety. This includes following safety procedures, wearing personal protective equipment, and actively participating in safety initiatives. By demonstrating a commitment to safety, leaders can influence others to do the same. By implementing these strategies, you can create a comprehensive and effective electrical safety program that protects workers, prevents incidents, and fosters a culture of safety. This requires a long-term commitment and continuous effort, but the rewards are well worth the investment. In addition to these points, it's crucial to emphasize the importance of ongoing training and education. Regular refresher courses and updates on new technologies and safety procedures are essential for keeping workers informed and prepared. It's also beneficial to incorporate interactive training methods such as simulations and hands-on exercises to enhance learning and retention. Furthermore, consider implementing a system for tracking and documenting safety training. This allows you to monitor worker participation and ensure that everyone receives the necessary training. Regular safety audits and inspections are essential for identifying potential hazards and ensuring that safety procedures are being followed. These audits should be conducted by qualified personnel who are familiar with electrical safety standards and best practices. The findings of these audits should be documented and used to improve safety practices. It's also important to involve workers in the audit process to gain their insights and perspectives. Promoting a culture of continuous improvement is crucial for maintaining a high level of safety. This involves encouraging workers to identify potential hazards, suggest improvements to safety procedures, and participate in safety initiatives. It also involves regularly reviewing and updating safety procedures based on feedback from workers, lessons learned from incidents, and changes in regulations and technology. Finally, remember that electrical safety is an ongoing process that requires constant vigilance and dedication. By prioritizing safety, implementing effective safety procedures, and fostering a culture of safety, you can create a workplace where everyone is protected from electrical hazards.